We're getting more and more used to saying NASCAR stock cars can sling dirt, but how about taking air or even running a Joker lap? We've got a big mix of terminology this evening as we're here to witness the first ever organized outing for what we're calling NASCAR Rallycross, presented by SimWrap Market. Hi, welcome to Pit Stop TV in virtual Sonoma, California. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Emerson Arden alongside, and Emerson, throw away everything you know about conventional NASCAR racing and break out the co-drivers because we are going rallycross racing in stock cars.
That's right. We have quite the event lined up for us tonight. Again, NASCAR stock cars, the Gen 6 NASCAR Cup Series stock car vehicle on tarmac, dirt, and air. Yeah, we have all of that combined. It is going to be something else, something like, well, we never see. I was going to say rarely. We never see this. And of course, that's something that we have the privilege to do, being on the iRacing.com Motorsport Simulations platform.
It is definitely a privilege to be joining you all this evening from, well, the virtual Sonoma Raceway for what is going to be a very, very special broadcast for us this evening. You can see here, this is the course we're racing on. Yes, with NASCAR Gen 6 stock cars, we have turned over to Sonoma Raceway on the Rallycross course, and there's a lot to get used to here, especially for you NASCAR fans or maybe that haven't ever seen anything about Rallycross racing before. So there is a key at the top right of this track map that you can kind of use to guide you through things. The most important things really are the blue tarmac stretches and brown gravel stretches. That's what these drivers are racing on lap in, lap out. But in addition, you can see the yellow starting chute where these drivers will grid up and fire down to turn one, and the purple Joker lap that drivers will have to utilize once per race, whether that's a heat race, a consolation, or a feature race. So you can kind of see how things are built. So again, yellow starting chute fires you onto the normal racing course for this evening. The blue sections are tarmac, that is pavement, asphalt, concrete. The brown sections are gravel, including a jump just out of turn number 2 at the bottom end of the circuit. There's a lot to get used to here, Emerson. We're not even talking about a start-finish line tonight. We're talking about a timing line. So that in and of itself is a big adjustment for us this evening. A whole lot is different for these stock cars, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And that Joker lap, it is going to take a little getting used to. I think of it something like you're playing Mario Kart, and there's a shortcut. But this shortcut is outlined for every driver, and every driver has to take it once per race. That starting chute, I think of it similar to the restart zone for the Charlotte Roval, an alternate way in the turn one that we don't normally do at race pace. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. And again, all these differences that we really don't put NASCAR stock cars through is going to be a lot of fun.
And what's interesting is these guys are lapping at 43.6s, low 44s, and the Rallycross lap time here, the fastest lap time on iRacing is a 39.520 with a Subaru WRX. The slowest of the Rallycross cars in iRacing can get is actually the Volkswagen Beetle Light. Fastest lap here with that car is a 41.392. So we're in the neighborhood. These cars are not slow on a rallycross course by any means. In fact, they're quite a bit faster than the Lucas Oil Off-Road Pro 2 light trucks that do sometimes race here on iRacing. We don't have standings or a schedule or anything like that to look into. So let's just go on board here, Emerson, and get an idea for what these guys are seeing on track. Here's an onboard with Tanner Kalin. Actually, let's go to... We're going to take, let's see if we can find maybe Warren Keith here. Yeah, this is car 24, Warren Keith. And let's just follow him around, and you will see the gear selection bottom right. This is coming to begin a lap per the timing sheet. And we'll see more of this in qualifying, a better view. But this is how things look as you come down past the timing line. The IRX kind of gate there into turn number 3. This is into the S's, into the carousel of the normal road course here at Sonoma. And it is all dirt.
Yeah, reduced grip. It's not like these things had that much grip going through this corner, but going uphill the opposite direction and with dirt, no grip. For these big, heavy, high horsepowered stock cars. And getting a nice look here of the S's here at Sonoma. We're getting ready to get into qualifying, Andrew.
Yeah, we'll see a lot more here in just one moment. We're going to work on, well, getting the cameras where they need to be, first of all, because that seems to be a slight problem. But we'll get that sorted out and, well, be rolling in just one moment. As cars will take to the track here for qualifying, they will get 5 minutes to turn their lap times. Let's go ahead and join them down on the track. Tanner Kalin, one of the first cars onto the track and one of the fastest cars here today. Kalin driving the number 47 today. That is a Toyota Camry, and he has been quick. Let's go on board. There we go. There's the onboard. So Kalin now through turn number 3. This is, you can see, the track has reset a little bit. We've got some better dirt out on the track. Well, the session state just changed. So that's through turn 3. This is beginning his first flying lap, and well, through the S's. It's so tough. It's sweeping dirt corners. You don't usually see that in racing. Then it's a hard right hand back onto tarmac. Suddenly there's a lot more grip, but you're still on dirt tires. So you've got to be so careful getting the power down out of these corners and back into a straightaway. This is one of the trickiest corners in the racetrack. Turn number 2, rolling the car down on pavement, turning in onto gravel, and then heading up over this jump. And Kalin will wrap up this first lap. We'll see where he goes with his first qualifying lap, the first qualifying lap of the day. Well, of course, he goes pole at a 44.860.
Aaron Smith smashes that time, and kind of expected that from the 70 of Aaron Smith. He's just somebody you always look to when you have stock cars on there, well, not natural habitats of ovals. Aaron Smith is one to always come out and play and to show these bad boys up. But right there, that transition, you see, he even struggled.
Wow.
Well, maybe struggled, maybe that was optimal. But I was gonna say that transition from dirt onto tarmac, it almost looked like he skipped over all the tarmac until he absolutely had to.
Look at that jump, up over the jump. He'll wrap up his second qualifying lap. There's a lot more cars to look at. We'll get to them here in just a moment, but one thing I want to explain is Smith goes, will stay in the first position. Swavely goes to third, and actually Aaron Smith went a whole lot faster. Look at the Joker hat that you can see in the ticker there on the top left. We mentioned that there would be a Joker lap that these guys will have to take. Now, the reason you're seeing it illuminated, usually you see it grayed out, that's if a driver has not taken the Joker lap. Some drivers use it on their out lap coming to the start-finish line, and that is okay, so long as they do not use it during their timed laps. That is okay. So that's why it has illuminated in qualifying for some drivers. In race sessions, you'll see that illuminate purple, indicating that the driver has used their one Joker lap for that race. So anyways, qualifying continues on. This is Richard Swavely now in the third spot. AJ Green is up into second, and his number 48 is looking good, along with James Watson in the number 39 Ford Mustang, and Mario Miranda out here in car 99. And how about Alex Muscarella up to the second spot in car 07?
Yeah, Muscarella showing some muscle. Now we're looking at Warren Kyle Keith in that number 24 Chevrolet Camaro. And Curtis Kelly is one. That's number 71, working their way up the hill.
Here's Zach Murtis, one of our own here at Pit Stop TV, getting some laps in qualifying. On board with him here. Chucks the car in for turn 5. It's going to take me a while to get used to calling each corner what they're supposed to be called, but this is turn 1, which is normally at road course turn 4. This is down to turn number 2, right before they head back onto gravel, right past the Joker lap. And Zach Murtis will come back over the jump and wrap up this lap for himself. Let's see what he can do. He's currently 10th in qualifying. And across the line, will he do any better? The lap is a whole lot better, it looks like. And yes, he jumps to 5th.
A huge improvement there. And these guys, they got 3 laps. If he hasn't used his third lap, he's got a chance to improve upon it there. And this is a beautiful scheme. I'll check it out in practice. This Coke Zero car. For number 27 is Steve Loving.
Miranda up to 3rd. Big time jump for car 99. Isaac Mock looks like we'll be getting on track here shortly in car number 16 on the scoring pylon. 7 on the paint scheme. We'll see a couple of discrepancies like that. Steve Loving there we saw for a moment. He is 11th in qualifying. Dakota Curtis 14th. He wrapped up his laps. As well as Parker Bland in 12th. Justin Urban 13th. Travis Stevens 15th. And Shane Wyatt in 16th. Michael Eckhart waiting to get onto the track for this evening. Here is Zach Murtis spinning again into turn number 3. It looks like he's done. So let's go on board here with Isaac Mock and let's see what he can do.
We'll see if he has enough time to get back around and finish up this lap. But working his way up the hill, and Again, you're getting those rear tires to spin, but you're trying to reduce the spin up the hill to keep the car moving forward at a steady rate. And then you're working your way up the hill here for the right-hander to turn 5.
And it looks like that's going to do it for qualifying. So, quick exit there. Now, the interesting thing we'll have to get used to is we are going to have some heats, and this is going to be heat number 1. Emerson, you can actually tell us how many heats are we getting now with this amount of drivers?
And we are going to have 3 heats. Heat 4 is skipped, and then we will have 2 LCQs, or at least that is what we're being told at the moment. So 3 heats.
There you go. I believe we're whittling the field down to a field of 10 drivers for our feature, so a lot of racing coming up. Let's go and introduce you to our starting grid for heat number 1. This grid is a little bit kind of not really useful right now, but we'll go through it. These are the drivers in this field anyways. Aaron Smith on pole, the fastest qualifying lap. AJ Green will start from second to his left side, and then Richard Swavely there all the way on our right, but drivers left. Warren Kyle Keith also in this heat. He'll be joined by Justin Erb in car 5, and Shane Wyatt back there in car 7. And you can see red light on, the ticker is ready. Let's go racing here for the first time at Sonoma Rallycross. Green lights are out. We are racing with NASCAR stock cars on a Rallycross course. A little bit of calamity there, getting up onto the jump for the first time for some of these guys, and one driver jokering off the start. That is Warren Keith. The thing is, I don't think you can actually joker right off the start. You've got to pass the timing line for the first time before you can actually use the joker lap. So, yeah, that joker will not count for Warren, and he may even be assessed a penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's technically shortcutting the track on a joker lap that is invalid because he technically hasn't started the race yet, so I was gonna actually question that. For the start, as it was one of the it was a really clean start. I was honestly expecting a little bit more calamity. And
well, here it is. Swavely and Justin Erb. Oh, Justin Erb's gonna get turned by Swavely out of turn number 2. Aaron Smith, meanwhile, will come across the jump and wrap up lap 1. Do we see any jokers this first lap? I don't think so. No.
Aaron Smith holding a nice, steady lead way out in front. He is class to the field for sure, as it is here in Heat 1. Looking at Warren Kyle Keith now, his joker will count also with the 48 of AJ Green as well.
Yeah, we have now seen a couple of jokers. So AJ Green and Warren Keith have joker this past lap, or this lap. Justin Erb did as well. And, oh, AJ Green all the way out into the barriers. Big problems for car 48, and he's going to lose the second spot. He will get back rolling, and, oh, gets the wall there again. He is having some trouble getting back rolling and sweeps up Swavely. Swavely's going to reverse and get into the 23. That is Shane Wyatt out there.
So much has gone on, and I was about to say that was important because the top 2 still transfer out of the heat. So that second position is still the transfer spot, and we saw that change hands with the mistake that AJ Green made.
But will there be a penalty assessed to Warren Keith? He's only got 6 seconds back to AJ Green, even with all that calamity that last lap. Will be coming to get the white flag this time by for Heat 1. Oh my goodness! This is where the fun factor comes in. Oh boy.
Takes a turtle there, and with damage healing on there, Andrew, it's a brand new car. And the sim is showing that AJ and Warren both have penalties. So that, oh no, big hit there.
There you have it. So Justin Erb, maybe the driver that transfers out of this heat along with Aaron Smith. But race leader Aaron Smith already through turn 3 and into turn 4, and he's going to wrap up this lap here in just a moment. And he will end this first heat. Swavely and Wyatt still have to joker. Your top 2 transferring, but we will see some penalties. I mean, this is just fun, though, Emerson. And we're going to see, I think, the fun factor come in a little more than the competition factor a bit tonight. I mean, we're taking NASCAR stock cars on a Rallycross course. We're going to have that.
We're jumping NASCAR stock cars. I think there officially Aaron wins the heat, as if that wasn't any question.
Yes, and actually, Warren Keith drops to 10 seconds back. Justin Erb, 20 seconds back. So it's a 10-second gap between these two for second and third. as Wyatt will joker this time by, it looks like. And yes, he will take that joker lap. Warren comes across. Here comes just an Herb. He will finish third. We'll see how these results change here in a moment as they wrap up the white flag presented by Whiplash SimCam. Swavely will finish fourth and Shane Wyatt in fifth, and the timer will run out. I didn't see any change to the order there, so we'll have to wait for scoring, I suppose, here in a few moments. But
Warren made it.
Yeah, I guess Warren still makes it on into the feature race. So there you go, your top two advance, and just like that, we're to heat number 2. Emerson, here is your grid.
On the pole position will be the 07 of Alex Muscarella. To his outside will be the 47 of Tanner Kalin. In third it'll be the 39 of James Watson. The 27 of Steve Loving. He will start in fourth. Fifth position will find the 23 of Dakota Curtis. In sixth will be the 16 of Isaac Mock.
Just 6 cars in these heat races, and we're already ready to go racing for heat number 2. Muscarella, Kalin, and Watson your front row as they roll off down to turn number 1. The whole shot going to car 07 on the inside, Watson on the outside. It's a race to turn 1. There we go, a joker already. These guys can't take the joker lap 1. They're going to get a penalty. I don't know where they got this idea from, but it might have been Warren Conkey.
Also, I don't know if the 47 joker would even count because he didn't keep it within the track limits. I know that is something that iRacing does monitor for, a clean joker.
Yeah, I wonder if it's actually assessing a penalty or if these guys are getting away with it. Maybe that's why they're trying to do it. Boy, this is interesting.
They were flagged, the 27 and the 47.
So there you go. Sounds like there is a black flag. This is going to be interesting for us to watch. But that it should be a penalty for those drivers. But regardless, they now sort out to the front of the field for right now. Maybe they think they can outdrive that penalty. As here we go, Muscarella and Watson going to joker. Muscarella goes outside of that joker bounds that you're talking about, Emerson, and that could be a penalty for car 07.
You're right, we'll have to see, but they still hold tight, and they are scored 1-2, Muscarella and Watson. Still no Sattel working their way up the hill. There's the 47 and the 27 working their way up the hill behind. And way off course there is the 39 of Watson. No, the 07 of Muscarella.
You know what, Emerson? I think the joker counted for those guys off the start. That's really bizarre that it's counting for them because you can see they did not joker that last lap, but it's now counting as Muscarella's going to get a tap from Kalin. That's really bizarre. Usually at tracks where that is kind of the case, where the joker would take you, or I guess you would run the joker before the start-finish line. Usually that is illegal. So that's interesting. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, I guess, the rest of the night. Even we're getting some surprises up here in the booth.
Yeah, I recall back in rookie Rallycross, that's bashed into our heads at Daytona Road Course. The joker lap is
exactly
starting shoot, but before the start-finish.
A big shout out to simratmarket.com coming on board for this event, allowing this to, be a thing. I mean, this is really cool so far. Seeing NASCAR stock cars around the cross course like this, this is really special. And a big shout out as well to Parker Bland for having this idea in the first place, doing all of the setup work, and really all of the work behind this in general, making this a thing. I mean, this has been so cool to see take place, and really has been just very, very special.
So it's been an amazing event because, I mean, how many other times are you going to see stock cars willingly grab some air? And Alex Muscarella with the fastest lap. Muscarella is searching for that final transfer spot here.
Yeah, so we're watching this battle. This is for that transfer. As Emerson just mentioned, these two cars, Kalin and Muscarella. Watson way out ahead. Unless he makes a mistake, he's very much safe. And while these guys are closing in, Watson has a puff of smoke there. Turn 1, we're going to run down to turn number 2 and wrap up this 4th and final lap. The white flag is out, presented by Whiplash Media SimCams. Down to turn number 2, hard on the brakes. Muscarella trying to close in. I just don't think it's going to be enough, and no, it won't be. That is all she wrote for heat number 2.
Wait on the official scoring because there is a flag next to Tanner's name, and we did see 10 seconds be added to Warren's time. But for what it's worth, James Watson certainly should win and move on into the main event.
Yeah, that is very much not within question right now. So we'll see exactly where these guys work out. But everybody else going to have to go through consolation races, LCQs, and yes, Muscarella does get adjusted
Yep.
ahead of Tanner Kalin, and Muscarella will advance straight to the feature. Heat number 3 on deck. Mario Miranda will be joining these guys from the front of the grid. Let's go through the full grid here for heat race number 3. Mario Miranda on pole, Zach Murtis there as well. Starting third, technically, it will be Curtis Kelly. Parker Bland joining this field along with car 33 and car 20 of Travis Stevens and Michael Eckhart, respectively. So a nice little setup again here. Going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of fun. It's just going to continue.
Absolutely. And again, we know Mario to obviously be a very fast driver when it comes to these bad boys on road courses. This is a little different than a traditional road course. But we'll see. Miranda, at least for the moment, has a provisional pole for this heat and is looking stout before we get going here.
Looks like Travis Stevens will not make the call to grid. So we will get ready then for heat number 3. And we're off and away. Heat 3 underway. The whole shot looks like going to car 02. Zach Burris with the advantage to turn 1. But Miranda's on the inside. He will take the lead back away and will be in a drag race to the second corner with Murtis. 1 car to the inside. That is Parker Bland way up. And he goes out of the apex at 2. Kelly with a bit of contact to the 02 of Murtis. And Parker Bland throws it into a tizzy but hangs on.
That time everybody follows the rules, makes it through the timing line first before anybody takes a Joker lap, but that was probably the closest that we've had to carnage there in the opening set of corners that we've had, and even then, these boys, big hit to the sausage curb there for the 71 of Curtis Kelly.
Curtis Kelly falling back. Michael Eckhart, it seems. Okay, he just got the advantage from him. It has reset now with Eckhart further behind, but for a moment, it looked like Eckhart had... Maybe he towed and got back to the pit lane first. And Parker Bland up the inside. That shoves Murtis back onto the racetrack. Murtis might actually get the advantage out of that with Bland having to stop.
But now they'll be drag racing down the straightaway. Miranda has his Joker scored, and Bland is ahead there in second, holds the transfer spot over Curtis Kelly and Zach Murtis.
Lap number 204, Parker Bland now in the second spot. Murtis third. Murtis is not jokered. Miranda did joker that lap.
The 20 did leave the session. So now we look at Zach Murtis to see where he comes out after his joker lap.
Let's see what car 02 can do. He should joker this time, I would imagine, and yes, he will. He was set up to joker last time. Now does take the joker lap, the shortcut here. Now, some tracks, the joker is longer. Some tracks, the joker is shorter. And yes, he gets out ahead of Parker Bland. That is huge.
And now it's on. You both have ran the joker lap, and Parker drives it deep into the gravel section. A little bit of contact, working their way up the hill. Both of them sideways as they head to turn 4.
Battling nose to tail for the final transfer spot into the feature. We'll take a couple of drivers through the consies, but this move is big for Bland. He hits Murtis out into the wall, and that is that battle, I think, done. Will Parker take it, or will he give that spot back to Zach? I think he's going to take it.
He'll take it, but will he be able to hold on? He's got to still run a mistake-free final lap, and Murtis, if he gets close, will he do anything as he tries to close up to that 8 car?
Bit of a graphics issue. We're on to the final lap here in heat number 3, and we'll be able to watch these guys wrap up this heat. And honestly, I don't think anything's really going to change. Zach Murtis is a little too far back now. Final lap underway, presented by Whiplash Simcams. And it is definitely all car 8 ahead of car 02. So Miranda will take the heat win, and Bland will take the final transfer.
And there's no penalties for anybody. Everybody followed the rules in terms of joker and track limits. But Mario Miranda, again, very much out and ahead, wins the heat. And Parker Bland does secure. It got close there for a little bit, but Parker Bland does secure that second position.
Yeah, Zach kind of drove back up there, but it's just not quite enough. So looks like he will have to go through the consolation races that are now going to be on deck. So C main number 1, it's being called, will transfer 2 straight into the feature. And that will give us an opportunity to send just a few more cars into our feature race. So waiting to see all of these drivers head out onto the deck and waiting for our graphics, honestly, to catch up, Emerson. Sometimes things just kind of don't go our way, and today is one of those days. But looks like we're going to have a race anyway. So we'll bring this back on screen, and here you go. Race cars are racing.
Murtis again with the whole shot, and Herb trying to clear up the second. They battle up off the corner. Herb now holding second position there over the 7 of Isaac Mock. A hard charge up the inside. Everybody makes it through all in one piece. Over the hill, everybody makes it now without taking the Joker to the timing line.
4 cars in this consolation race. 2 will transfer, right?
Yes, the top 2 will transfer, so it's that battle for second that we've been watching all day. But right now, it's a battle for the lead with the top 2. That could become spicy between Justin Herb and Zach Murtis, and huge damage there for the 23 machine of Shane Wyatt.
Here we go, though, the battle up front for your top 2 positions. Murtis gives a shot in the shorts to the number 5 of Herb. Gets to the inside there. But can't do anything in turn 1. Herb slings that car out sideways. And there goes Zach Murtis to the Joker lap. The other 2 not abiding that time, not taking the Joker.
And so Murtis will get out in front, and it's a little bit of a mental thing, because Justin Herb, yes, he knows that Zach just took the Joker, and Herb still, he still has the Joker. But having a car in front of you could make you drive there. Also, it's a 3-lap LCQ as opposed to a 4-lap heat, so 1 less lap to do something. Also, Isaac Mock has got to pick up the pace here if he wants anything to say about the main event.
Definitely not our day with graphics. I'm going to keep working on this in the background, but definitely just not my day with ATVO, unfortunately, as Herb sits in the second spot. Murtis there in first, and see, we'll see the Joker now for Herb. Herb will come in second with 1 lap to go now, presented by Whiplash Media Simcams. And, man, we are fighting some challenges.
That's for sure, but the challenge on track now is who will have the top spot here in the LCQ. Herb looks like he's given himself a decent margin over the 7 of Isaac Mock. Is there any chance that Herb can get back to Murtis? I don't know how hard he's going to be pushing, because he holds the transfer spot for now. Can he make it around the final set of corners?
It looks like it's going to be a nice and easy run into the feature race for cars 02 and 5 as Murtis rounds the final corner. Heads up over the jump and wraps up lap number 3 and consolation number 1. Car 02 headed straight to the feature race.
And no penalties to speak of there. So Murtis and Herb, clearly the 2 out in front, clear the 2 to advance to the main event, and we still have 1 more event before we get things off and away here to what's being dubbed as the B main, the second LCQ. And again, the top 2 will be taken to the main event.
Once again, a big time shout out to Simrap Market. Definitely big time help in organizing this event. They are providing, I believe, a quarter of the winnings that are going out to drivers this evening. The number I think I got from Parker was somewhere in around $50 to the race winner, and Simrap Market putting up $25 of in-store credit that you can use at simrapmarket.com. That will go to the 3rd place driver this evening from our feature race. And it looks like, Emerson, correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, it looks like I've been corrected. We have B main coming up now. So that is consolation number 2 that will send some drivers into our feature race. Does that look about right? Or are we in warm-up?
We are in the second consolation race now. Everybody gritting up and getting ready to go.
Yes, there we go. Okay, we have got cars back on screen. The whole shot going to go, it looks like, to the 35. That is Richard Swavely down to turn number 1. That's the 47 on the inside. Kalen battling with him.
very, very tight coming through the first corner. Looks like the 40 and 22 continue to make contact in the back, but it's Curtis Kelly trying to get to the right side there. The 47 of Tanner Kalin. Kalin was one of the fastest drivers all day today in practice. Will he be able to transfer through to the main event? We'll have to see as he chases Richard Swavely into the dirt.
Watching these guys continue on. Lap number 1 of 3 here in Consi number 2. That's a big move for Kalin to the inside.
Side by side up the hill. They're going to come off the dirt and onto the tarmac. Swavely making the rear end of his car as wide as can be. Kalin peeking down to the inside through turn 1. And Kelly waiting in the wings should something happen.
Side by side, neither driver taking the Joker. Contact there. Ooh, and there goes the 35 nearly out into the wall.
So the 48 of AJ Green, the 71 of Curtis Kelly taking their Jokers that time. Curtis Kelly had a mishap on the Joker, overshooting the entry and lost a lot of time. So AJ Green is the leader right now, but AJ Green has taken the Joker lap. We're still waiting on Tanner Kalin and 35 of Richard Swavely to take their Joker laps this time as they're wrapping up their second lap.
So the 45 out front for now. Curtis Kelly second. These guys still have to Joker. We should probably, if not this time, we'll see it next time. Rather, they did Joker, sorry. So now you'll see Kalin go on through the Joker and Swavely as well. So they will take, I believe, the white flag. And here we go. Side-by-side battle. Maybe nose to tail now with AJ Green and Richard Swavely.
That is tightened the race up, and it's now 4 cars under a blanket. And remember, the top 2 out of this group will advance. The 2 to make it to the timing line first. Here,
a run from Kelly.
A dive from to third. A dive to second. Near contact with Richard Swavely up the hill.
Swavely out way into the dirt. AJ Green puts, oh my goodness, puts the 71 through the 47, and Swavely is going to go through from looking like he wasn't going to advance at all, is suddenly going to move on through and take a big time consolation race win so long as he completes this corner. Kelly gets punted off. Green goes on through again, and that is the consolation. Wow.
And Tanner Kalin, the driver who led practice most of the day, ended up coming second in practice, looking like one of the favorites today, will not make the main event on a last corner turn of events.
Wow. I don't think I have words.
We knew it was going to get crazy, Andrew, with 4 of them under a blanket and only 2 advance. Did not expect that.
Definitely did not expect anything like that. Wow, I'm blown away, genuinely. We're going to throw to a quick commercial break, try and have graphics back up for you by the feature race here, but that's it. That's all of our preliminary racing. We have a 10-lap feature coming up with 10 drivers, 1 Joker lap, and we just watched the field get set before our very own eyes. What a couple of consolation races. The feature coming up next. I'm Welcome to the virtual Sonoma Raceway, and wow. Wow, I think is a great way to sum up what we've seen so far with our preliminary action, our preliminary races today at Sonoma Raceway. Again, on the Rallycross course with NASCAR stock cars, something special, something you certainly do not see every day. A big thank you to Simrat Market for making it all possible, as well as Parker Bland. And, well, let's go ahead and take a look at our track map once again. Emerson, there's a whole lot to digest here.
Absolutely. At the top, obviously, you see the starting chute, and the way these drivers will be firing off into turn number 1 off the start for the race, and then down the short chute to turn 2, you have 2 options: a joker lap, not on the opening sequence of corners, but after you complete 1 lap through the timing line, or turn 2 that leads you on to a part of gravel, and then a jump, long back stretch through the timing line after you land the car, and then a long gravel section up the hill from the carousel, the S's, and up to turn 5, and you do it all over again.
Our 10-lap, 10-car feature race is now headed to grid. That's right, we are going feature racing with NASCAR stock cars on a Rallycross course. I will never get tired of saying that, Emerson. That just sounds so good. Let's go ahead and meet your starting grid then for this race. Aaron Smith on pole, and I think that's definitely very much deserved for him. Let's go ahead and, there we go, get the grid up on there for you. James Watson starts from the front row, as well as, well, heat number 3 winner, Mario Miranda. Starting second row, you'll find, well, I don't have a whole lot of time for it. Warren Keith will be starting further back in this race, along with Alex Muscarella, Parker Bland, Zach Murtis, Richard Swavely, and a whole lot more as the race is green. The whole shot going to go quickly to car 70 on the inside, and it's a battle down to the first corner. Swavely way out wide. Everybody else going to hold in tight. Mario Miranda is going to lead the field, though, to the stripe to begin lap number 1. And here we go, up into the dirt for the first time as a whole feature.
I was shocked to see that Aaron Smith wouldn't be the driver leading us all through the timing line, but he's right there and actually loses a little bit of the nose, trying to follow Mario Miranda up the hill. You see everybody, we got one car going around across the track.
I believe that might have been AJ Green in the back in car 48, and he will get back going after a bit of a detour here on lap 1. The field, though, through turn number 1, Muscarella and Smith some contact, and they get things sorted as we work down to turn number 2. Miranda, the race leader, misses the joker. Now back onto the course, onto the jump, and Muscarella is going to pass, as well as Watson now through to the race lead. Oh my goodness.
Watson to the lead, Muscarella to second. And Mario Miranda, I wonder if he's going to be able to get through that without a penalty, since I guess he technically did enter the joker and was not able to complete it. Aaron Smith and the 24 of Warren Keith, they're going at it now.
Here comes Parker Bland. Parker, the guy who built these setups, finally showing that he knows how to drive these cars on a Rallycross course, finally showing up, and he goes off wide, and now he gets turned. Big contact with Justin Erb.
And Miranda all the way to the back. 2 of our favorites, Aaron Smith and Mario Miranda, in trouble early. Sideways Parker Bland. Here comes Aaron Smith to the joker.
Smith will take over the race lead by virtue of that joker lap. We finally see some jokers here in our feature race. Warren Keith followed him. Now Watson goes into third, although really this is provisionally going to be the race lead, I think, still, Emerson, because once he takes the joker, he will pick up a bit of time and should go back on through to the race lead. A lot more jokers that lap as well from Miranda, Bland, Swavely, and Erb, all taking their 1 joker lap that they have to for this feature.
And I'd probably take that joker sooner than later, because the thing that's going to help Aaron Smith here is the clean track. Everybody getting through Aaron Smith was because he was jumbled up in traffic. Here comes Watson through the joker a little wide, and Aaron Smith's still going to hold the lead. That might be all she's wrote.
Aaron Smith stays out front. It's going to be tough to go up there and touch car 70. Warren Keith and Alex Muscarella battle for 3rd and 4th. Zach Murtis follows through to 5th. Muscarella, it looks like, has not jokered yet, so he will pick up a little bit of time whenever he does and might go through to 3rd, maybe even 2nd spot. Miranda now battling with Murtis. They head up over the hill and down to the turn number 4 through the S's. Murtis hits that inside anti-cut, and will have to lose a little bit of time as a result. Smith out front by quite a bit, and this is the battle for third.
Yeah, Muscarella.
Oh!
Oh no. That's going to be a huge hit to his time, and he's not even able to cut across the track to grab the Joker either. Muscarella, he's still in fourth, but lost a lot of the time there. He was one of the well, he was close enough to maybe say something about the 70-39 right there.
We still have a lot of racing. We're used to the quick-fire stuff now from the heats, but we're not even halfway yet. As we finally get on to lap number 5, Parker Bland having some trouble back here in position number 7. Let's ride on board and see what it's like to drive one of these cars around here. Watch him saw on the wheel, too. And he's been so good through the S's. When I ran test races with him here, he was so much better than me through this dirt section, through the S's. As Mario Miranda has a problem, they'll pass him. But Parker chasing down Zach Mertz, just trying to make up a bit of time here. The one place Parker seemed to struggle in test races, and I'm not sure how much he's worked on it since, was getting the power down back onto the tarmac. And I have to wonder, Emerson, if he's been able to work on that, perfect that. It seems like the rear is still dancing a little bit on power, but overall a bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as this section is concerned, this is such a finesse section. So, it's so you have to put the car exactly where it has to go. It has to be a perfect line. You have to modulate the throttle perfectly. A little too much, and you're going to be spinning the rear tires more than you want it to. And right there, a huge run there on the 0-2 of Mertz. Couldn't get down there. But throwing these cars from gravel to tarmac, well, we just don't do that. The transition from one track surface to another just doesn't really occur with these things.
No, it really doesn't, unless you're doing exactly what we're doing here this evening. It's just not something you usually see with NASCAR stock cars. It's not usually something these drivers have to account for, the setup has to account for, or anything like that. But now, here we go. The battle for second is starting to kick back up. Warren Keith putting some pressure on James Watson for that spot. Aaron Smith is clear out to a 2.7 second advantage, so I don't think anybody's touching him unless he comes into an issue, either by his own volition or maybe a lapped car. We could see that.
Certainly, and I was curious to see how long they can keep Aaron Smith in that traffic, because I think that was probably the great equalizer. Once Smith lost, clean track, and he had to fight through traffic and, not have to worry about the other cars on the track, it's a huge time killer. But from then on, he is absolutely, you can see him, he is just letting it rip through the dirt, and that's what he has to do. It is so fast. It is something else what Aaron Smith is doing.
He's led 6 of 7 completed laps. We're on lap 8 of 10. We'll get the 2 to go signal this time by, and that'll be that for Aaron. I really think if he completes this lap with no issues, and obviously he's got to complete the next 2, but I don't see them catching him, and I don't see any lap traffic ahead. It's going to be tough to actually get there. Although, I gotta say, James Watson's starting to get a little bit closer there for a moment. And now that time kind of works back up. I think he's better on the dirt sections maybe, but doesn't really get the power down the way he needs to.
And again, that's so difficult to work a big, heavy stock car up a hill on dirt without, over revving or over spinning the rear tires doing so. James Watson, he's figured it out for the most part, but is trying to chase down that bright yellow machine up ahead. We still have Alex Muscarella to hit the Joker, and it would have been something if he could have stayed with the 24, because we might be looking at the Silverman here. I think here he comes.
Muscarella finally going to hit the Joker lap. He's going to get a whole lot closer to Warren Kyle Keith, and this could be a nice little battle for the 3rd spot, and yes, it is. White flag is out, presented by Whiplash Media Simcams. Muscarella up the inside of his buddy Warren Keith, but it doesn't quite stick on entrance to the gravel, and we'll have to settle, it looks like, for the 4th spot, but this race is not over. Aaron Smith up ahead will round to turn number 4 and come up over turn number 5, and he's just got a couple more corners to go before he wraps up this race win. But this is the battle for 3rd behind him, and Warren into the wall. He ruins it for himself. Alex Muscarella goes on by as Aaron Smith will come through turn number 2, Emerson, and win the first ever outing for NASCAR Rallycross, this time at Sonoma, presented by SimWrapMarket.com.
And what a drive from Aaron Smith. If you had to tell me to pick any driver on the iRacing service who would have been the one to do it, that would have been right up there in the list of names.
Definitely not the race that Parker Bland would have wanted, but he will still go 6th and get all laps completed, racing with Justin Erb and some others there to the end. It looks like Zach Murtis is going to go 4th maybe. And there's Parker Bland, and you know what? If he was going to come across the line in any shape or fashion, there you go. I think that's the best way he could have done it.
Wait, did he cross the line?
No, you're right, he didn't.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
Parker. Oh, boy.
I was going to say, I saw blue on this side of the 8 car. I'm like, that's not the side we should be seeing the blue poles on.
Parker. There are a few cars that could help him potentially. I'm not sure if they will. Justin Erb, as well, here is our race winner, Aaron Smith, taking the victory this evening from Sonoma Raceway. Incredible stuff for Aaron. I don't know how he does it.
I mean, you just have to think about what it is for all. I mean, I know it's a sim, right? But we got a big 3,500-pound stock car. We're looking at, well, let's just say on the low end, 550 horsepower. The higher end, 725. I think with the bigger square, I guess it'd be 550. And just slinging it through gravel and throwing it in the air. Something that's just
look at the car control right now. His celebration.
I mean, if you didn't tell me he was celebrating, I think that, that's almost him taking the track and how he should be taking it.
The way he linked up his celebration now into an actual lap, we'll do another 360 there, and now we'll bring it to a park. Just incredible stuff from Aaron. I really am impressed every time I see this guy go out there and dominate a race like this, especially this one. This is so out of the box, so unordinary. I'm genuinely impressed. Justin Erb is going to do some donuts as well. And Parker Bland, it looks like, did finally get freed, so he will finally finish the race. I imagine Justin helped him out with that, so big props there. Parker will finish this race, just not maybe where he should have, up there on the 6th spot. We'll drop a couple of spots and finish down the order. Let's go ahead and go through our race results of Emerson. Finishing up front, of course, we saw Aaron Smith in car 70. He has just been so good.
Yeah, Aaron Smith, again, so dominant, led 9 of the 10 laps in that opening lap just because he got mired in opening lap traffic. Really was the case. James Watson, 2nd, Alex Muscarella, 3rd, Zach Murtis, 4th, and Warren Keefe, after being on the podium, coming through the last corner, he'll actually end up 5th.
Finishing 6th, Justin Erb, car 5. 7th will be Richard Swavely. 8th is that number 8 car of Parker Bland, who ends up not actually finishing that last lap. He will be scored 1 lap down in the 8th spot. Mario Miranda 6 laps down, and AJ Green, wrapping things up for his own run after just about a half a lap and does not complete lap number 1. So 10 cars get things done here at Sonoma. Of course, we had a few more, and honestly, I am really impressed by the turnout for this race, Emerson. I know Parker was struggling. He thought maybe we wouldn't have as many cars as he was hoping for. Maybe it was going to be down somewhere around the number of 10 or 12 at best, or maybe even 8 was the number I heard today. We ended up with, 18 cars turning up? This was a really cool event, and I'm glad drivers turned out in droves.
Absolutely, major props to Parker and everybody who helped set it up, because it was fun, and I'm sure being able to put on this show and us being able to put it out there and show people, how much fun this could be if he were to do it in the future. He's got some backing for himself as well to help bring people into this.
Well, Aaron Smith wraps things up tonight with a race win. Let's go ahead and bring in Aaron as he takes the first ever win in this kind of racing. Aaron, this is not something that we usually see, yet we see something we're used to seeing, which is car 70 out front. How do you do it from all these different disciplines, all these different cars and so many different scenarios? How do you do it?
Well, you know better than most people that I spend a lot of time wrecking these cars and getting them sideways, so I have a lot of experience in whipping the back end around in these things, and fortunately it all worked out for me tonight.
It definitely does work out for you tonight. You're going to gain a good bit of money here, a good bit of cash from winning this race. Obviously, that's not why you do it, though. Why do you love running these kinds of out-of-the-box combinations?
Because it defies logic, really. I mean, you wouldn't expect to see something like this in real life, even though it takes a lot of wheeling there to get it to go quick. But yeah, it was a fun race all around. I'm glad all the folks put on this event, and I certainly appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely out of the box. This is not something you'd usually see. What was, I guess, the biggest challenge for you as a driver learning this? I'm sure you got a little bit of practice, but learning this car on this track with this setup and trying to do it all with everybody else out there on the racetrack too.
Yeah, the hardest part was just getting over the expectation of this thing handling terribly around here. It ended up handling like way better than I thought it would, and there's a lot of grip there in the back end, a lot more than I was expecting. To be able to throw it around the first corner in fourth gear and be able to have it stick and not bog down is certainly incredible. But appreciate all the folks who put the setup together because it felt great. It was a dream.
9 laps led out of 10 laps run. Aaron, congratulations tonight. Big time congratulations. This is cool, and I really hope we get more events like this. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you in those.
Yeah, I certainly hope so.
Aaron Smith wraps things up tonight with a big race victory here at Sonoma. Emerson, second place, though, James Watson. He looked pretty good, just maybe not quite good enough for Aaron, but hey, as we have more of these events, maybe he can close that gap. Emerson, though, here is car 39.
Right, I'm stoked to talk to this driver of the number 39, who did lead the opening lap on the opening sequence of corners here today, James. And James, how much fun was that?
It was fun, but it was also really stressful because you can screw up really easily, and I'm not the one you usually count on to rise to the occasion. So I'm just like, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke.
Well, you didn't, I'd say for the most part, because it's going to be hard to outdo the number 70 Aaron Smith, but was there anything you could maybe analyze in yourself over the course of 10 laps? I know it was for fun, but anything you could have done differently to catch Aaron?
No, I mean, maybe I could have waited to take my Joker a little later, but I was concerned that with Warren coming out right in front of me, I was concerned that if I had waited, it'd take too long for me I'd lose too much distance. So I was hoping that I just slip back in front of Aaron and try to hold him off that way. But he was just far ahead enough to that he was ahead when I exited the Joker. So it was pretty much just hold on for second place.
And Aaron said that he really enjoyed the setup. I know that may be easy to say from his point of view. So what did you think about the way this car handled on such an oddball combination?
I mean, I really don't think you can put together something that works any better. I mean, it felt good. It was controllable. It was drivable. I knew what the car was going to do, or at least had a good idea on what it was going to do every time I went to the corner. And if I did kind of pop loose, I could catch it. Honestly, it handled better than the Rallycross cars. Honestly, I had more fun driving this than I do those.
Well, there you go. James, congratulations on the second place finish tonight, and a bit of money you'll take with you following tonight's race as well. Congratulations. And yeah, well, can we, if there's any more of these events in the future, you think you'll be signing up for these?
If my schedule's open, I'll definitely be in.
There you go. Well, once again, James, congratulations on your second place finish, and yeah, great job tonight.
Thank you.
James Watson goes second place. We would usually, conventionally, talk to the rest of the top three, which would be third place, but he is not here tonight, so let's go ahead and grab... Actually, I see now somebody may have joined... No. Okay, so we will get Zach Murtis, who ends up finishing in the fourth place tonight. Zach, a pretty crazy run out there. Obviously, this is a really wild car and track combination. What was it like from the driver's seat? Zach may have stepped away. Do we have a Zach Murtis?
Yes, you do.
There we go. Zach, what was it like from the driver's seat? Obviously, this is a pretty crazy car and track combo. We saw that. We talked all about it. We heard about it from other drivers. What was it like, though, from the perspective of Car 02?
It was definitely crazy. I tried to practice earlier in the day, but I didn't have the right time setting, so I pretty much thrusted myself in here and really wasn't expecting what I could do, what I might not do. I'm a little irritated with Parker because he kind of cost me in my heat, but I made it back up in the C main. So we still made the show. We still were able to make sure we put that car in the top 5. Didn't expect to be 4th. Just saw a car spun around coming to the line, and well, you know, a spot's a spot, but I mean, really, just it was more about being able to get the car to handle properly. I mean, going into turn one was probably the hardest part for me because if you didn't set the car right, it wasn't going to rotate the way you really wanted it to, and then all of a sudden you're just trying to nurse it up the hill and be able to get back onto the asphalt.
Well, you end up coming home fourth tonight, but you were all over the place through the standings, that is. Drivers dropping like flies left and right in the last couple of laps. What were you trying to do to make sure you came home, well, as far up as you could?
Not hit anybody. That was pretty much the name of the game. Everyone was all over the place. I had someone spin out in front of me. I think that was the 48 AJ Green on either lap 1 or lap 2. There was so much dust, so much dirt because the track was so clean that I just couldn't see anything for the first 2 laps. So it was really just a game of survival.
Well, Zach, obviously, we're all talking about potentially more of these events, and I know you're in the Pit Stop TV folds, maybe more of those events you end up working, but we want more NASCAR Rallycross. If the opportunity presents itself, do you want any more of this?
Yeah. Let me just grab my pen and write my name down in big, bold letters where I can sign myself up, because this was fun. This was awesome.
Yeah, this is the fun stuff that I think we need more of here on the iRacing.com sim. Congratulations and a pretty good run for you tonight, Zach. Especially kind of being thrown into this, I think with probably limited amounts of practice. You go out there and finish fourth. Congratulations.
Thanks again. Maybe I'll be in the booth for the next one.
Zach Murders finishes up fourth tonight, and I love to have him around on Pit Stop TV when we can. Love to see him on track, though, as well. I think it's the first time we've actually covered him on track before. Maybe I guess Cars Esports Tour last year might have been the first time, but first time in 2022 anyways. Emerson, wow. I think that's one way to put this. How do you wrap things up tonight?
Well, we were kind of getting an out-of-the-box combination coming into tonight, right? And we were having stock cars on a rally course. Kind of really didn't know what the expectations were tonight. What I do have now leaving is that next time we have one of these, it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be chaotic, and it's gonna be quite the show, because it certainly was tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think. I think, first of all, we will see more of these events at some point. I don't know when. I don't know if it's in a league setting or what have you. But I think we learned a lot tonight. First of all, ATVO did not like us. Secondly, this is fun. This is what I think iRacing needs more of, is this kind of combination and this kind of fun aspect. We get a lot of serious leagues that come through here, and we cover a lot of serious leagues. And I'm not bashing that at all. But I think, simply praising that we get to cover some fun racing, and that's the motto. Well, not the motto, but I think that the goal moving forward is get a little more fun racing, a little less ego, a little less angy sometimes, if you will. I know it's a very kind of whatever term, but like we want more fun here on Pit Stop TV. We get a lot of races sometimes where drivers get mad in the YouTube chat, and we don't want that. We want to have a good time. We see all of you guys out in the YouTube chat loving this stuff, having such a fun time. And we want the drivers, we want us to be right there with you guys. So, we are going to have, I think, a lot more fun racing soon on Pit Stop TV. And not to say that anything hasn't been fun so far, but this kind of fun racing where it's either an unofficial event or this just kind of fun race organized by Parker Bland and some others. And, well, it might even have some official series, some short official series races coming up soon on Pit Stop TV. It's just... The possibilities are endless. You see new graphics on screen when they want to work, and I think we're just trying to have more fun, trying to make sure we get back to kind of those roots, and this is such a pivotal part of that. I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but this is what iRacing needs to see more of. This is the exact kind of thing. Parker Bland, honestly, is leading almost a revolution right now, Emerson. This is really cool to see, and I hope we see more of it.
Absolutely. I'm all on board for it. I'm a huge supporter of it. Yeah, bring it on. Can't wait to see what's next.
Definitely. I think we need more of this for sure. Let's go ahead and talk about some upcoming broadcasts though on Pit Stop TV. Now, obviously, you see the Monday slot with graphics just not working our way tonight. That is outdated, but you do see 2 more broadcasts coming up, mostly, well, actually both Wednesdays. First off, Wednesday this week is September 7th at 7:45 Eastern. We'll see the Old Fart Sim Racing League back here on Pit Stop TV, covering for HBR TV once more. Just a couple of races removed from their race at Pocono. Now we're going to Chicagoland Speedway, and then Emerson, it's the Outlaw Sim Series. Now in the playoffs, headed to the Daytona Road Course. Tell us about it.
right? So we ran through 26 regular season races and now an all-star race. And now we have the top 16 drivers. We have their points reset. We're going to line them up and we're going to do it again. 10 more races, breaking up into the 4 rounds. That is the stylized NASCAR playoffs, the Outlaw Sim Series. And we kick things off at the World Center of Racing with a little bit of a twist. And not just because it's a road course, but with the NASCAR chicane as well. A very chaotic chicane. Drivers either love it or hate it. And we're certainly going to be in for a good one in about 10 days' time. I have to do the math. Yeah, 10 days' time.
So there you go. A lot of fun stuff coming up here on Pit Stop TV. I'm definitely excited to see how things go and, see how these playoffs kick off for the Outlaw Sim Series and whatever else comes our way here in the coming months. So plenty of places to follow along with Pit Stop TV on social media. Of course, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Follow along with us at the links below. It's facebook.com/pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_, instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, youtube.com/c/pitstoptv1, and twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV. A big thank you to our partners here at Pit Stop TV, Whiplash Media, SimCams, SimWrapMarket.com, and Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. I definitely think SimWrapMarket.com, by the way, chipping into tonight's event is going to be a big part of Pit Stop TV moving forward. A big thank you to Cameron, Colby, and everybody else over there at SWM for allowing us to put more money up, realistically, put more value up for these racers and give these guys some more incentive to come out here and race. It certainly worked. This is what happens when you have great partners like this. You get more drivers out here in these kinds of races, and I think we're going to get more of these kinds of races. So that is why partners are so crucial here on the iRacing.com platform and for us here at Pit Stop TV. So a big thank you and shout out to SimWrapMarket.com. Emerson, any more parting thoughts for us here from Sonoma?
I think all I can say is that we have thoroughly entertained tonight, and I think that's all you could have asked for, right? And certainly looking forward to more.
Fair enough. I think that'll do it. Let's go ahead and close things out then. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Pit Stop TV. Emerson Arden on the call with me. Best of wishes, best health wishes, in this case, to JP Costa, who is supposed to be on the call tonight. We don't know a whole lot about it, but he is under the weather in a pretty big way. So best wishes, prayers, thoughts, all of it goes out in this case to our own JP Costa. Was on with us last night for the Superior Class Auto Racing Radical Series. Unfortunately, couldn't be here tonight for this one. Hopefully he's back very soon, and hopefully he's back in full health. Otherwise, once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our partners with Whiplash Media, SimCam, SimWrapMarket.com, and Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. And thank you to Parker Bland for this race. We will see you next time. Good night.